In this first movie, we're going to be talking about guides, guide positioning, guide creation, just a lot of different things that we can do that are a little bit easier for us to be able to use. I guess you could call them shortcuts. Now, a lot of times while we're going through this title, I'm going to be utilizing exercise files, and they're available with the premium subscription and also on the CD-ROM if you purchase that. If you're a monthly or annual subscriber, and if you don't have access to these files, you can learn by watching and use your own. But if you'd like to follow along my steps exactly and you want to actually use the files that I'm utilizing, I'd suggest actually upgrading to the premium subscription or purchasing the CD-ROM. Right now, I've just opened a blank page. We're going to utilize some guides. So to start with, come up to the rulers. I'm going to drag a guide out and show you a few things here. As I drag guides out, click and hold down, drag out onto the page. Two types of guides we have: page guide, spread guide. If I'm on the page and I want to generate a spread guide, let's say I'm zoomed in really tight, if I hold the Command key down, Mac, Control key, Windows, I've generated a spread guide. Let go of the mouse, let go of my key, I've got a spread guide. Now, a lot of times what's going to happen here is this. You're going to want to position these guides somewhere directly on the page, exactly on a ruler measurement, let's say at about 4 inches, for instance. I'm going to drag another guide out, click and drag out. As I drag it down, you can see it's a page guide. If I want to hit the actual measurements on the ruler, if I hold my Shift key down, it will actually snap to the ruler on the side for me. Looking up at the control palette, upper left on your screen, you will see it says 4 inches. Letting go of my mouse first, then the key, I've got a guide at 4 inches from the top of the page. Now, a nice little feature I like to see is being able to lock guides. Lock guides we can do from the View menu, but you can also lock individual guides if you'd like. Let's say I come back up to this spread guide up here. If I click on the guide to select it, right-click on the guide, right-clicking directly over the guide, that's the key, I will see lock position. This allows me to lock the position by clicking on that of any guide. Now, if you don't have a 2-button mouse on a Mac, basically what I can do is if I go up to Object with that guide selected, I should be able to see lock position sitting right up here. That will allow you to do that. You'll also note the shortcut, Command-L Mac, Control-L on Windows. So that's a nice easy way to lock a guide for us. That way if I go out to it, I cannot select it, I can't move it, it is locked. But the other guides on the page still can move. Something else a lot of people would like to do is they'd like to either select all of their guides or they'd like to actually create a center guide position. First of all, let's talk about selecting all of our guides. An easy way to do that, holding down Command-Option on Mac, Control-Alt on Windows, and hitting the G key. That allows me to select all of the guides I have on my page, which is a nice, easy way to do that. So if I'd like to delete them all, I could do that as long as they're all unlocked for myself. I'm going to click to deselect. One other thing I'd like to show you here is being able to create a vertical or horizontal guide from the rulers. Say, for instance, I'd like to create a guide at 2 inches, a vertical guide at 2 inches from the left edge of the page. If you double-click on a ruler, you will actually create a guide that is a spread guide. Now, it's a vertical spread guide in this case. Take a look at it. If I click on it here to select it, I can see it's not exactly at 2 inches looking at the control palette. To easily do that, I'm going to delete the guide by hitting delete. To easily set a guide and snap it to the rulers by double-clicking, hold the Shift key down first, then double-click right on the increment you want. That will snap it to the guide itself. That way, guaranteeing you're at 2 inches across from the left edge. Now, something else I'd like to do is this. We're going to go ahead and create a vertical and horizontal guide that's centered directly in the middle of the page. To do that, I'm going to come up to my actual 0 point location here, and we're actually going to see that this is the way I can change my 0 point. On the Mac, if I hold down my Command key, click and drag out, that will be Control key on Windows. If I click and drag out, what we're going to be able to do is this. We're not going to change our 0 point, but I'm actually going to be able to set guides on the page, horizontal and vertical at once. Holding down the Shift key as well, that will actually allow me to snap to my rulers. I can see up here, I'm actually on the snap at 4.25 inches across, 5.5 inches down. If I let go of my mouse, let go of the keys, I actually have center guides, horizontal and vertical for myself. So it's a nice, easy way to be able to do something like that. That way you can hit the dead center on the page for yourself pretty easily. And if I want those to be locked, I can select them by dragging across, coming right across it, right-click, lock position, learning that shortcut, Command-L Mac, Control-L Windows, or if you don't have a 2-button mouse, coming under Object, lock position for ourselves. Nice, easy way to do that. There are a lot of things we can do with guides, and these are just a few of those that make it a little bit easier for ourselves.